Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. I'm Paloma Villaverde Rico, Editor-in-Chief of Recommend Magazine, and I'll be moderating this webinar. It's hosted by Gina Bang, Chief Sales and Marketing Officer at Avanti Destinations, and Nate Guilfoyle, Avanti's Director of Web Services. And this webinar will introduce you to the next level of Avanti's partnership, the Avanti Advantage, and their exclusive hotel amenity program. It's the culmination of decades of departmental upgrades, service level improvements, technological innovations, and gradual growth. Before we begin, though, a few housekeeping items. During the presentation, feel free to enter your questions in the question box. We'll gather them together and hold a short Q&A session at the end of the presentation. And don't worry if you miss something, this webinar is being recorded and you will receive a link via email to access the recording at your leisure. 2 attendees will each win a $50 gift card. Names will be announced at the end of the webinar, and you must be present to win. And take it away, Gina.
Thanks, Paloma, and good morning, everyone. Nate and I are here in lovely Portland, Oregon. It is a not raining Portland day, but I'm so excited to be here with you, and I know Nate is as well. There has been a lot of changes at Avanti this year, everything really geared to service you and your customers. So I just wanted to go over a quick agenda for our presentation today. I'm going to give you a short introduction of Avanti Destinations for those of you who may not be familiar with us. We'll give you a really quick round the world tour of all the different destinations that Avanti offers to you. I'll give you just a summary of the services that we can put together when it comes to customized travel. And at the end, we're going to wrap it with resources that you can use to create some quick quotes, find itineraries, e-brochures, inspirational collateral, as well as how to order our latest advisor reference guides. First of all, though, I just wanted to thank everyone for all of your support. This year, we did receive the Best Tour Operator International, the Silver recognition that was voted 100% on by advisors. So we always really appreciate all of you, our customers, the travel advisor, whenever we do all of our promotional activities. It really means something because at Avanti, we are 100% B2B. Since our founding in 1981, so we have over 43 years of experience putting together customized packages, Avanti has been really dedicated to advisors and the trade. Over the past few years, you may have known that we have been expanding our footprint. So if you do hear some other accents on the phone, I just wanted to explain what was going on. So we do have our headquarters here in Portland, Oregon. We have about 100 staff working in and around the Portland metro area. We also have our groups team, so that is 10 people or more. They really specialize in small groups, large families. They work with alumni, all sorts of different preformed and affinity groups. But that office is based up in Washington State. And more recently, we launched our office over in Barcelona, Spain. This is our operations center. We have many of our operations team based there. They are working with our DMCs and partners across the globe. Primarily, many of our partners are based in Europe. And so when we're sleeping here in North America, they're actually working on your clients' booking confirmations, updates, and all sorts of in-travel messages that your traveling customers may be reaching out to them for. There's several ways that you can actually reach our in-travel team, and we'll go through some of those in a few minutes. Earlier this year, we actually launched our 4th office. This is based in Manchester, England. So over in Manchester, they actually serve as Avanti's second call center. These are Avanti staff members. We have our own dedicated office over there. We actually moved some of our existing Portland staff over to England to ensure that the quality and standards that you expect from us are maintained over in our new office. So with our team over there, we actually expanded our office hours to be open at 3 a.m. Pacific time all the way to 5 p.m. Pacific time. And that is Monday through Friday. So most hours, most business hours, you can reach someone at Avanti to create or modify your quotes and bookings. And just a little bit more about our team, we really dedicate ourselves in training. This starts with a really rigorous 6-week onboarding process where we teach our new travel consultants not just our system, processes, policies, but also about our customers, our products, our destinations. And then they go through a mentoring process with some of our senior staff members. Then they start learning, of course, all the different areas of the world. For someone to learn all of Europe, that typically takes them just over a year. And so when they are selling to you on the phone, you can really hear the difference when you're talking to one of our travel consultants. From the very experienced to even the newer people, you really feel the care and the options that they're able to present to you so that your customers have that amazing customized vacation. I also wanted to mention that in our team, we have dedicated departments just on our most complicated product sets. So, of course, this has a lot to do with the air carriers. There's a lot going on in that space right now. It is becoming more and more difficult for tour operators and for agencies to book air, but we really try to streamline that process for you. Of course, we have a lot of different ways to differentiate yourselves to your clients. So whether that be an optional air deposit, which creates a flexible payment schedule, if your clients are looking to really maximize those expensive airfares with those stopovers in those key gateway cities, or if your clients are looking to do like an open jaw ticket, we can really help you and really show you how to maximize that airfare. We also have a dedicated rail team. I have to say, this is one of the pain points that I hear from many of the travel advisors that we work with. European rail, there's over 30 carriers, 30 sets of terms and conditions, 30 advanced booking windows. So every carrier is a bit different. Trying to really understand that can be cumbersome and complex. And we have the team members and uh, the resources to help you make the rail ticketing process really simple. And earlier this year, I just wanted to mention we also launched our optional rail guarantee. This is a pricing guarantee because, as you know, for us to quote rates before the ticketing horizon, which is typically 60 to 90 days in advance, we forecast the schedule and the rates. But with that optional rail guarantee, we if we collect that rail payment with deposit, we guarantee that fare. Whether the ticket goes up $100, your clients are insured to have that same fare guaranteed at that time of deposit. We do a lot of QCs here at Avanti. So upon receiving your initial payments to prior to departure to even 7 to 10 days prior to your client's arrival in the destination, we always like to work with our DMCs to ensure that as much as possible, everything is to spec. And I know many of you already have a relationship with one of our travel consultants, but I wanted to mention that this is kind of our fastest growing channel. Many of you asked us if you could work directly with one of our travel consultants, and we created a program for you to really help you with your workflow. Many of the advisors that I know, you guys are traveling, you are actually on the road quite a bit. So being able to work with the same person on these complex multi-destination itineraries is really a time saver. So we really try to look after your workflow. And of course, many people love working with the same person time and time again because you just build that rapport, the relationship, and we really begin to understand what your needs are, and we can just kind of work together in a better way. So typically with TC Connect, this is all done via email. There is a threshold in order to be invited to the program. But of course, if you're TC Connect or not, you're always welcome to book with us over the phone, via email, or through our portal. which Nate will show you in the second part of this presentation. The other area that we developed and kind of soft launched this fall are our new destination specialists. So, we have over 60 countries that we sell at Avanti. There are a lot of things happening post pandemic when it comes to the questions that people have about specific destinations. Last year, we launched the South Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, and Fiji. So, that for us was a huge step forward in trying to be able to offer your clients trips around the world. And with that, we really understood that, your clients and you're looking for these dream vacations, these ways to really inspire and create a cycle of repeat and referred business. And one of the ways that you can really differentiate yourself amongst all of the online options and people booking directly is through amazing customized itineraries and at a fraction of the time that if you had to research it on your own, it would take countless hours. So we really tried to, break down the selling process, really understand what your client's needs are, and then put together itineraries based on our experience and what has worked for customers traveling previously into options that are really solid to help you with conversions, make your clients really happy, and get them excited about their travels. So, our new destination specialists, I can't say they're all new, some of them were previous Avanti employees, but they only book the destinations that they're responsible for. The other thing about our destination specialists is that they work with our product team so that they do have more options available to them. So if your clients are looking for something really off the beaten path, specific property, or a really customized day tour, they can work with our product team, and that just speeds up the process in getting that quote to you. So if you haven't called in about Central and South America, Asia, or the South Pacific yet, I highly recommend that you give us a try there. And as I mentioned, we do have more than 60 countries that we offer. So many of you know us for our European product line. We launched that back in 1981, and we started actually selling the Central and South American countries starting in 1990. So we have a lot of experience there when it comes to creating those beautiful multi-destination trips. There's just so many rich cultural and natural outdoor activities that your clients can really enjoy there. And we really are starting to see that rev up again. Asia is also a really popular destination. We think for 2025, it's just going to be off the charts. Japan, as many of you already probably know, has been extremely popular this year and continues to set records for 2025. But also, Southeast Asia is an area that, if you're not familiar with, I would highly recommend that you put some time in this winter to better understand and perhaps take a training with us to understand the different destinations and how you actually combine into a really nice itinerary. The Middle East, we started with in 2020, the Middle East and North Africa. And most recently, as I mentioned, we launched the South Pacific last year. So we're just 1 year into selling that and has been going really, really well. Avanti, we are known as the one-stop travel source. And we say this because not only do we have all the different components that your clients may need to create that customized vacation, but we also have all the different types of ways to sell it. So, of course, we have all of the air and ground transfers that your clients may need. We have 3, 4, and 5-star hotels. We have a plethora of unique accommodations. So if your clients are looking for something, a little bit unique, something off the beaten path, or something special. People use all sorts of words when they're trying to describe what they're looking for. I would really highly recommend that we have like a dedicated unique accommodations e-brochure, but we also, our staff is really familiar with the different Italian villas, French chateaus, the Irish B&Bs and castles, those beautiful eco lodges down in South America. We have some glamping options like in Ecuador and also in the UAE. We have some beautiful luxury lodges that we work with down in Australia. even some of like the Buddhist temples in South Korea, the Japanese ryokans, all of these types of experiences and stays can be combined with your typical Rome, Florence, and Venice if that's what your clients are looking for. And I just really love how you can mix and match experiences, accommodations, sightseeing tours to really create something super special and bespoke for your customers. We do have a lot of different sightseeing options. So, of course, we have all of the high level shared tours. So these are great for a certain price point. We have, of course, all of the great private tours, whether that be a walking tour, a private car and driver, and we also have that mid-range, the small group tour. And that can be great either on foot or by minibus, where your clients join a small group of 10 to 20 and they explore that experience together. Sometimes, I also personally love to mix and match experiences. Sometimes private, if it's something I'm really into, really hits that sweet spot. But if I'm traveling with my partner, sometimes it's nice to mix it up, meet other travelers, and those shared experiences are a really fun way to do that. But in terms of how you can experience the destination, we're always trying to highlight the best that the destination has to offer. So if your clients are foodies, maybe armchair historians, if they love the outdoor adventures, if they're traveling with a family, or if they're looking for something super intimate and romantic, just let us know because we really do have something for everyone. Avanti is known as being specialists in rail. As I'd mentioned, we have that dedicated rail team, but we do sell rail outside of Europe. So within Europe, of course, it is, I would say, on everyone's bucket list to do a rail journey somewhere. Within Europe, we do have access to the high-speed rail network, point-to-point tickets, seat reservations, rail passes, but also we have access to regional trains and those scenic trains like in Switzerland, or if your clients are going up to Norway, Norway in a nutshell. So that is always fantastic. It's very efficient, sustainable, but there are some really cool luxury experiences as well, like down in Peru, if your clients are going from Cusco to the Sacred Valley to Machu Picchu Village, all the way down to Lake Titicaca. We do sell the Inca Rail, Peru Rail, as well as the Hiram Bingham. Over in Asia, we have access to the high-speed rail networks in Japan, also known as the bullet train. We have the JR Rail Pass as well, and then also over in South Korea. And then even down in the South Pacific, we have those rail options in Australia, like the GON, for example, or over in New Zealand, like the Transalpine. So lots of rail options, lots to keep your clients busy as you try to work with them on their bucket list. We do have some really wonderful small ship cruises as well. So if your clients are looking for something kind of unique, intimate, they maybe don't want to do something mass market, they can look at something really bespoke, really customized. So I was talking to Paloma earlier. She just went to the Galapagos. I love the Galapagos personally, but I also did a small ship there. It had fewer than 50 cabins, but we do have a lot of these small cruises in South America, like the Galapagos, Patagonia, the Amazon River, or over in Asia, for example, in Halong Bay, over in Croatia, in the Dalmatian Islands. So there's some really fun options there. But also don't forget about Avanti when it comes to those pre and post cruise land-based stays. If you're a cruise specialist, this is probably where you can see incremental growth in your business is really trying to expand your land. So, you can kind of think of it as two vacations in one. If your clients do, 4 to 5 nights on the ground pre or post cruise, and then do the cruise, it could be a really fun way to get your clients maybe thinking about different kinds of land excursions. Travel protection, this is still really important, just seeing what has happened this year. There's still a ton of flight delays and cancellations. We work with our partners over at TripMate. They are wonderful, and we actually have two plans with them. We have our lead-in plan, and then we also have our upgraded plan with CFAR, cancel for any reason. And I just wanted to make one note about our TripMate plan. It's based on the package price, not on your client's age. So if you're selling a lot of multi-gen, this really makes it, I think, much easier to explain to your clients how the pricing works. So this is kind of a busy slide, sorry about that, but I just wanted to make it really clear that we kind of have three ways into booking with Avanti. So we have in some of our non-European regions, we have set packages. These are really easy to book. It's a fixed itinerary with rate seasons. The rate doesn't change. We have, it's basically one click to book, or if you wanted to call us, one call to book. This is great. So, we know that 80% of travelers going to these non-European destinations, it's their first time going there. So, they're mainly going to take one of three options. So in most countries, we have 2 to 3 options of what the itinerary looks like. Even if your clients aren't going to take that right off the shelf, it's no problem, but it's a qualifying tool for you. And I think this is really powerful. It helps you, especially those leads that you're not familiar with, it really helps you understand what your client's budget is, how serious they are, and to get an idea of what they want to do on their trip without having to put too much time into that very first call with us. You can have something ready to go and out the door. We also have suggested itineraries. So this is something that we've had for a while. Also, we kind of call it internally recommended vacations, but this is something, it's more like a template where you can come in, you have maybe it's like a London, Paris itinerary, and it's 3 nights in each city. But maybe your clients want to do 5 nights in London and 4 nights in Paris. It's no problem because right there you can go adjust the number of nights and then flip any of the hotels or sightseeing experience in there. It basically creates a shell of an itinerary that you have somewhere to start from, and then you can just modify it. And then, of course, we have our full FIT, our a la carte option. This is something where many of our experienced advisors, they really prefer to build something a la carte, line by line. They want to build in the air, the trains, and then they are very specific about the hotels, the room category, the different kinds of experiences that their clients are having, whether there's transfers or not. So this is something that's really helpful, just depending on how knowledgeable you are with the destination, how much time you want to spend on the quotation process before giving it. If it's someone that you know really well, maybe you want to spend the time. But if it's someone that you don't know and you're just trying to gauge how serious they are, I think the packages are a great option there. And of course, Avanti, we are 100% B2B, so we're always looking at ways on how we best support and service you. So it's always before you even book with us with our kind of in-person training, virtual training, onboarding process. If you're not familiar with us, there's lots of ways to engage with us on our marketing and social media, through our webinars. Nate himself hosts 2 webinars a week, which I'm sure he will tell you, but also through the booking process, either if you're calling us, emailing us, or visiting us online. During travel, we want to make sure that your clients really understand that even though they're traveling independently, they're not traveling alone, they always have someone either at Avanti or someone on the ground, like our DMCs, to help them if the need arises. I have to say that like 90% of the time, though, when we get an in-travel call, it's a reconfirmation or it's a delayed flight. And in those cases, we just try to work it as best we can based on what needs to be done. So that has been something in 2024, this busy season, that we have really amped up in terms of our staffing because we have 11 dedicated team members, both in Portland and in Barcelona, just working in travel. And then, of course, post travel. So we always love to hear feedback. But if something does not quite go right during the trip, we want to hear about it. It's our opportunity not only to make it right to you and your customers, but also to hopefully, if it's something that's outdated or something that we can work with our suppliers to improve, we will do it. New for 24, so this is always fun. I know a lot of you have a consortia or maybe an agency and you work with hotels directly, or you have a network where they provide credits or some kind of perk. Avanti this year, we also launched our own program through our Avanti Advantage. This is our amenity program. And so a lot of the hotels that we work with, and these are the hotels that you and your customers love, they're small, they don't have these huge marketing budgets. They need a way to kind of promote themselves and get in front of people. So we work with them on the back end through this amenity program. They provide your clients these really nice amenities upon arrival, and then our work with them is that we get to promote them, highlight them, not only through presentations like this, but also on our website through our staff. And it's a really lovely symbiotic relationship. So the amenity program, it's a bit different. Each hotel has its own amenities that they offer. We have an entire e-brochure just dedicated on this. I added the link in the chat, so feel free to click on that later. But, the standards really are the early check-in, late check-out, the daily breakfast, and my personal favorite, which is the meet and greet by management. That just makes you feel really special when you walk in and people are expecting you and they welcome you. It's really, really lovely. Some of the hotels are providing things like a red-eye breakfast. If you're not familiar with red-eye breakfast, I'm sure you're familiar with a red-eye flight. So you get in quite early into the city, you get to the hotel, your room's not ready. You don't want to just drop your bags and start walking around. Sometimes it's really nice just to be able to drop your bags, have a nice leisurely breakfast, then take a walk, and then come back to the hotel when your room's ready. We have afternoon tea at some of the properties, gifts in the room like a bottle of wine or a lovely plate of chocolates or pastries. There's food and beverage credits or spa credits. So yeah, these are just some of the perks. We have nearly 100 hotels in the program now, but we continue to add more properties throughout the year. So just two examples I wanted to bring up to showcase to you. We have the Orologio Hotel in Florence. This is the breakfast room. This hotel sits right on Santa Maria Novella Square, so that tower in the background is actually a train station, so it's really conveniently located. And here, your clients receive a wonderful bottle of Prosecco in their room, the meet and greet, the daily breakfast, and the red-eye breakfast if they're getting in early. We also have some partners like Hilton. They want to also showcase themselves, so they, in addition, provide that 30 per person credit. And in Japan, with the dollar being so strong, that actually is probably more like $50 local. With Avanti, of course, we are B2B, so we know that commission is, part of the way that you are building your business. So at Avanti, I just wanted to mention that we pay commission pretty much on every single thing that we sell. There are a very, very few exceptions, such as published air, but even the contract tour airfare, we pay commission on. That's 5% on the base. So with your hotels, sightseeing, everything that you sell through Avanti is pretty much commissionable. And throughout the year, we are always having some kind of fun contest, booking promo. We work with a lot of different destinations. So when we host webinars and other kinds of trainings, we also love to have some different incentives to offer you as well. So keep an eye on that. If you ever want to just join us for those webinars, you will find them on our site. And also new, we had a lot of new things for 24. We implemented a new repeat traveler benefit. So this is $100 off your client's next Avanti trip. The caveat there is that they actually have to book through the same advisor in order to receive that credit. So just something we know that it really means something for you to book with us. So we want to make sure that that return business always goes back to you. Also for 24, we launched our new mobile docs. So this is something on the technology side that we have just been getting great reviews from our customers. Not to say that we don't still do paper documents, because we do, but everyone kind of processes information differently. So we have our paper documents. You can have one couple, one person likes paper, the other person likes their phone. So we have options for both. The mobile documents, I just wanted to mention, besides having all of the information, all the tickets right at your fingertips, you also have a one-click to dial on any smartphone. And this is super convenient. So if your clients are tired, they cannot find their arrival transfer driver at the airport, they can actually pull up the Avanti mobile docs, which is a landing page, and it actually refreshes behind the scenes. They can click the phone number for the transfer and get connected to someone and clear that up ASAP. The Avanti sales platform, I'll leave that to Nate to go over with you, but I have to say, it is fabulous. We get tons of compliments on there, especially people that have been working in the planner. There's just a lot of good things going on. We continue to implement upgrades and updates throughout the year, but we did some amazing things like you can shop for multiple rooms at the same time. You can save itineraries without names. There's a lot of great features here. You know, we have the ability now for you to really put in the minimal amount of information and create an entire customized itinerary. It's pretty amazing. And other resources. So, you know, you're going to see some new sites from Avanti. So you may have seen some of them already, but we have dedicated sites for each of our non-European regions, as well as our pre and post cruise page. And the reason why we did that, and you'll see when Nate does the demo, there's a lot of information. You know, we're selling 60 countries that you can customize. So on the site, there's a lot of information there. But if you are coming in and you're looking for something really streamlined, really simple, these are the sites for you. And those packages, so I mentioned these earlier, but these can be found, of course, on our regional sites. If you see that lock symbol, it means that it's a fixed package, so that itinerary cannot be adjusted. But these are great. You know, these are the new things that we just rolled out on October 1st. And basically, you know, if you go into these packages, you'll see, you know, of course, the entire itinerary, a map, so you can kind of understand the routing, but also what you'll see are all the pricings for the year. And this is just really helpful. So if your clients come in, they say, hey, I really want to do this Australia romantic escape. What is the lowest price point of the year? You can go on there and kind of guide them to that. Or if they say, hey, I really want to go in September of 2025, but my budget is closer to 12,000, you can say like, oh, if you go earlier in the year, you'll get closer to that price point. So it's just a different way of using the fixed pricing there. And I'm not sure if you heard, but we did also bring back our print advisor reference guides. So this is really fun. We have two different color or covers for the South Pacific. The one on the left is Australia. That is the 12 apostles, which some people say now is only 9 apostles because of the erosion. And on the right, we have Milford Sound on the South Island of New Zealand. But you can go onto our site and order your own copy of this to be mailed right to you. No, you know, if you're working from home or in the office, feel free to order a copy. But this goes through all sorts of great information like seasonality. It has our packages, it has hotels, sightseeing tours, and gives you a little bit more insight on the South Pacific. Highly recommend those. They're really, really nice. I have one in my office somewhere. But more resources, we also have our sales team. So our regional sales directors, they are located throughout the United States, and they're really there to support you, to help you, to answer any questions, provide onboarding or training, and to work with you to hopefully sell more Avanti, but also to really incorporate customized travel into your portfolio. We also have a self-learning. So if you want to become an ACE, an Avanti certified expert, you can. There is a companion e-brochure, but there's about a 45 question test that you have to answer. It takes about 20, 25 minutes. And then you get a special badge, and then you're eligible for educational trips with Avanti as well. So if you do want to keep in touch with us, of course, you can always call us, you can email us, or you can visit us online. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Nate to give us a walkthrough of our site.
Thank you, Gina. Thanks so much for the introduction. I'm going to say hi here on video just for a second before I share my screen here. Thank you, everybody who's able to attend today. Thanks for everybody who's dropping in all the love for the chat. Gina, like normal, you're getting all the love here. And hopefully, again, you guys will enjoy this part of the presentation. We're just going to be doing a little bit of a demo, of course, on some of the tools that we had mentioned There are so many great tools that Avanti offers. I'm going to cover just a very few of them today, but I do want to say that there has been a couple of people, dropping stuff in the question box. If you guys have a question as I move through this part of the demonstration, please feel free to drop it in there. We'll either answer it live or, of course, type it in there. But once again, thank you for your time. So first and foremost, I want to make mention that we do have this great advisor portal that has so many of the tools that Gina had mentioned, right? I'm going to show you again just a few of them today. We don't have time for all of them, but as Gina mentioned, I do trainings twice a week, and I'm going to show you in just a second here where you can do that. If you need to register your agency or need to register an individual account, you can do so right from this homepage. An agency is going to take you about 24 hours to get in, but if you are a part of an already existing IATA that is registered, we can get you through the gate in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. The first thing that you met with on our agent portal is trainings. This is, of course, me right here and our teammates, Michael and McKenna. And of course, we have a wealth of opportunity to do more training. I do this twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Paloma's very patient with me because I always show up right at the last minute for these trainings because I have one that is right before it. Again, every single week, and we have a webinar library I will show you at the end of the presentation. So with that in mind, this is kind of our dashboard arrangement, right? So Gina talked about a lot of great marketing materials. So we have this brilliant marketing section on the side here, which of course has all kinds of tools, a lot of inspirational tools. We work with a lot of places around the world to showcase how wonderful their places are. And then of course at Avanti, we have a lot of specialties. So this is a great place to kind of come in and draw some inspiration. E-brochures, we did talk a lot about that. Gina made mention of some of the great ones that we have within this space. We have them kind of broken up here, via specific areas. And her marketing team is always doing fantastic things. But we also, like I said, have a lot of great travel inspiration and things located on, specific programs that we have, namely the Avanti 101. We talked about reading that and, of course, becoming ACE certified. And then, of course, the Avanti Advantage. But we did also talk, Gina talked about the unique accommodations, but don't forget us for groups or, some other things there as well. There's a wealth of information you can kind of come in here. And every single one of those, just to kind of show you guys, are viewable online, but they are also things that content-wise live outside our system. So feel free to be able to download those or share those. Again, most of our material is, of course, focused towards advisors, but many of them are shareable with customers. So you can go ahead and use any of those opportunities to kind of use that to your advantage, however you choose to, right? I did talk about the webinar library. We have a great webinar library. I think that there's a wealth of opportunity to come in here and do some training. We have a bunch of popular topics that are located here and, of course, regions around the world. So feel free to get comfortable with anything Avanti-wise or anything that's on the advisor portal. Of course, our training hub covers the ACE certification program, and taking the Avanti 101 and the test, as Gina mentioned, is probably about 25 minutes. And the team has a lot of, advisor-ready materials, right? Like flyers. If you've met our RSDs out in the field, you'll probably seen a printed copy of some of these. But there's a lot of great things that you can use to kind of either widen your funnel or understand a little bit more about all of the Avanti features. We also offer a lot of them to be able to download and actually add your logo to them so you can be in the front seat of that branding, should that be something that is of interest to you. So that's a little bit of our marketing section. Again, I'm just going to kind of touch on a couple of kind of key areas as we go around all of our sites, because again, there's a lot of material here. So that is a little bit about the marketing stuff. And I just want to show you guys that we have a bunch of different ways to create things, but I want to kind of start with some of our regional sites. So Gina had mentioned that we have dedicated regional sites for the South Pacific, Latin America, and Asia. Of course, those are available a lot of times through a QR code. And of course, you could type in, latinamerica.com or something like that, or latinamerica.avantidestinations.com. Or we also have them grouped under our destinations. So we have the regional sites. We're available here. And let's jump into that South Pacific one, because that was one of the most recent ones, again, that we had launched in our newest product. And I'm just going to kind of give you guys an idea of what that looks like. So on our homepage, we have, if anyone has used our planner before, you're going to see something that looks familiar here. This is, of course, just oriented a different way. But what this allows you to do is it allows you to create something a la carte that you can kind of make in just a few minutes. I'm going to build one of these a little bit more towards the end of the conversation, but all you need to do is input these fields and your email. Even if you are registered or not, when you hit this get quote, it will actually take you through the registration process if you have not registered, or just jump you right into our planner tool if you have. And this will build you a fully completed stay, including airfare, round trip transfers, a complete city stay, meaning that it will provide you a hotel of the star quality that you have chosen, as well as transportation between the cities to connect those dots, and an experience, a tour experience on any day that's not an arrival or a departure. All of our sites, no matter which one you choose to look at, are kind of oriented the same way and provide an introduction and then provide some opportunities here for, some materials, right, to do a little bit more self-learning. This is where you could order brochures that Gina mentioned. They are fantastic. They are absolutely beautiful. I've been lucky enough to work at Avanti for almost 14 years now, so I remember when brochures were a thing, and now we refer to them as an advisor reference guide. But you can order either of those covers right here, and I got to be honest, they're beautiful. And I work very much hand in hand with the marketing team, who is feverishly working on the next one, which is going to be Asia, and it is looking fantastic too. We also have, again, a number of partners that we work with listed, and just a brief introduction on some of the different touring arrangements, and of course, our destination specialists, which we also talked about. So a lot of these, are very focused towards our fixed packages and our customizable packages that Gina had mentioned. You can see from these lock symbols, they kind of denote that something is, of course, customizable or not, from these symbols. And you can see per person pricing right here. So this is an excellent way to kind of gauge customers, right? You advisors, I have no idea how you do it. You guys are very, very busy all the time. You work with a number of different vendors, but if you want to stop by to be able to kind of gauge a customer or to be able to send them an idea of something regarding pricing, this is a great place to start. You can get through this process very quickly. For example, let's just kind of build one. So we have, of course, the non-customizable versions, but we also have customizable versions. You can see that, of course, one has pricing because we know what that looks like. And one, of course, you can customize to whatever it is that you would like. So let's say that we like, this highlights of Australia, right? All I need to do is click this. And from this particular tab, we've got a lot of options. We kind of have an introduction, the routing, the particular destinations involved. I can look at a full itinerary, which of course includes all of the inclusions that we have, and a more detailed day-by-day summary, as you can kind of scroll through here, right? You can look at the pricing per season. So we do have pricing bands. These are fixed and of course good for an entire year. So dependent on when a client wants to travel, you can of course focus that time by knowing kind of what pricing is going to look like for those particular date ranges, right? That's pretty cool. And then the next thing you can do, of course, if you want to send a client, maybe this information, maybe you want to share it like on social media, you can always copy a link, right? And you can, of course, paste it anywhere that you would like and reach it here outside the system. No login required, right? And maybe you want to look, send a client a PDF. Maybe you want to host it on your site. Maybe you want to do something like that. You can, of course, always do that. Click this, and you have something that you can send the clients that has the pricing on it. So a lot of people we see using these, like I said, to put on their website, because it provides an opportunity to say, hey, look, here's something that we can offer. And you have the pricing for the entire year. So you don't ever have to recreate one. It's all right here. It shows these details. And again, it's gonna provide you with an opportunity to be able to use this to your advantage, should that be something of interest to you. Now, let's say that you have a client who wants to build one, right? Or you want to build one for them, and go ahead and save it right within our system. All we need to do is click the book now. Let's pick a start date. Maybe we're looking at March, kind of seasonally here. Pick a room arrangement. All you need to do is enter your email, click the book now function, and see, we jumped right into our portal. We have a total package price here. Again, nothing is customizable, so you don't have to do anything other than add it to your itinerary. So you saw that took like 10 seconds, right? And from here, I can either add passenger name information if I have that, or I cannot, maybe Australia, right? And after I give it a name, all I need to do is actually select whether I want travel protection. We mentioned TripMate. We have a great trip protection program with them, and also one that has a cancel for any reason benefit. I always use that. And now we have, now we have something here that we can go ahead and save. And we have an Avanti kind of 7-digit quote that lives in our system that's stored inside our portal. And I could send clients, a quotation, right? So, if they like this, you now have a powerful selling tool that is very much interactive. You can go ahead and click on any of the information here. The client can. This is all pretty digestible on a phone. It's responsive. And of course, all of the next steps for what you would kind of need, you can have all of the information here. So you can see how quickly we went from this page to a book now process that jumped in. And now, again, we have something tangible that we can sell to clients. And should you want to go ahead and move forward with confirmation information, it's very simple to just go ahead and add names to it and begin the deposit process. So you can see how seamlessly you can kind of come from any of these sites. They're all reachable from the same space. Again, they're all going to be kind of the similar material here. And again, all of those processes work pretty quickly together. So those are all of our regional sites. And again, they're reachable not only from a QR code or a direct URL link, but also from right here under our destination guide. So that is a wonderful, wonderful way, again, to kind of connect those dots and have a simplified gateway into this particular area. So the next thing I kind of want to show you is a couple of different ways to create things. And again, I have a limited amount of time here, but if you want to come into one of my trainings, I'll tell you anything that you need to know. So under our create dropdown, we have a lot of different options. We, of course, have our pre and post offerings, which we did talk about, which again is a great way to connect your shore offerings with the cruise. We have groups. Don't forget about us for groups. I just did a training with Ricardo right before this. So that for us means 10 or more passengers. And again, their team has the fastest response time in the industry. Gina had talked about packages. Packages are a great way to kind of get something in there. I'm actually just going to clear this real quick. A great way to kind of, start a conversation. We talked about, Asia being hot. Japan is red hot, always has been, probably always will be. But, from the drop down here, you can kind of see that same non-customizable symbol here. So, you have the opportunity to be able to review, from package pricing, days and nights, options for 3- and 4-star levels right here, as well as customizable packages, which you can book and, kind of customize further, pick out your hotel, pick out the room category, kind of decide what tours you want, right? So you can kind of, again, see the difference between that using that lock symbol, but packages are a really great way to do that. You saw that Gina had noted on there that's probably going to take you maybe 10 minutes to kind of complete. So that, again, that's a really, really great way to kind of start with a structured arrangement and go from there. Another great way to build something is this planner tool. And I have been lucky enough to work on this tool since its inception. During the pandemic, we had a lot of downtime, and this was an idea that I had always had. And that idea was to say, let's take a very limited amount of information and create an entire itinerary from it. Today, I'm just going to build you a very simple land package to Rome, Florence, and Venice, just because that's an easy one. So all I'm going to do is put an arrival date in here. If you want to add air, you can see that this changes to the departure date. I'm not going to add air because it's going to add a little bit more time to the process. But I need to select what I want. You can add up to 3 rooms, so there's a lot of different ability to have, small family stays, etc. So all I need to do is actually type in my destinations and type in a number of nights and click create. And you're going to watch how fastly I'm going to make something that is customizable in an environment where I have complete control over what I want to do with it. So again, this is going to build an entire land stay. And for each one of those cities, it's going to give me an inbound and outbound transfer. It's going to give me transportation to connect to the next city. It's going to give me a hotel at the star quality that I had asked for it. It's going to give me a tour service on every day that's not an arrival departure. And before I could even finish plugging it, we're already done. So I have a complete land stay. The only thing that we actually have advisors do is select their transportation. A big part of this conversation was about the Avanti Advantage. Well, guess what? Our filters, dependent on the destination, are always going to provide, if available, an Avanti Advantage property. So for example, in Rome, the Palazzo Navona, you can see the details right here. You're going to get a bottle of wine and chef's pastries in your room upon arrival. Again, that's at no additional cost. That's just for booking Avanti, right? And that's going to come standard in any destination where we can provide that. So now I have this itinerary that's in front of me. It took me no more than 30 seconds to generate that itinerary. And I have complete control now, based on what has been offered to me, to amend this. So if I want to use the detail button, I can see detailed information about the particular service. I could remove that if I want to. Of course, we kind of give you everything and force you to remove it. That's no problem. You have the ability to change it. You know, for example, maybe I wanted to, you know, replace this particular tour arrangement, and maybe I don't want to go to the Borghese. You know, the ones that we offer you are ones that seasonally either make sense for the itinerary, are either available, or have been curated by our products team to make sure that you're hitting kind of all the highlights for each area. So let's see if there's a Vatican tour available for that day. I could go ahead and click find. Okay, it doesn't look like we've got, and here we go. So we've got something that's outlined here. We can go ahead and add that, and now we've changed our tour. So it's going to have a running total for all of the stuff that's in here. I'm going to show you that in just 2 seconds here. We just have to go in. Let's say we want to select trains. In the future, we're going to auto select these for you, but all you need to do is pick a class or a time. You can see there's a lot of different offerings here. We talked about how challenging rail can be, and I know that that is true. You know, we have different rail providers. We have different kind of seasonality for that and different pricing. So as we move through, again, we've got another Avanti Advantage property. We've got tours that we like. I'm just going to very quickly kind of wrap up on this in so we have space for questions. But now, you know, I've created something that took me about 2 minutes to do. And the only other thing I need to do is select whether or not I want to have trip protection and whether or not I want to have an additional fee added. So of course, I'm always going to select trip protection because we always say that you should. Let's go ahead and add a little bit on more for myself. And you can see that we now have a total commission rate, our trip protection, our agency fee, and our total land price. So now I can just go ahead and save this for myself. And once I have done that, we have more options down here. Next logical step would be to send it to your client. So we're going to click share, and guess what? We have a fully interactive itinerary here that the client can peruse. They can select and view the detail of every single thing. This content lives outside the system. And at the bottom, we have a single total package price and the sales, the conditions of the sale below that. So this is a great way to kind of get started on a conversation with your customers, right? And should you want to go ahead and move forward with any part of the book process, you can just click book, add the name information, and you will get a 7-digit quote like we did before from the regional site. One final thing that I'm going to let you guys know is that we also have destination guides. I'm not going to go too much into each one of them, but the Avanti world lives in this place. Anything promotion-wise or anything else is going to be listed here. And for every single country that we offer, we have an inspirational lookbook gallery. Remember those marketing resources? We have them custom catered to each destination. We have travel tips, we have featured properties and other services. And then we have an explore function where you can go through and review popular routing. You might see this a similar panel to what we had viewed previously. For example, in any of these arrangements, you can go ahead and build some of our top itineraries. It's going to take you just a few minutes. If you want to reverse it, you can do so from this. So again, a lot of things. And again, many of them point into that planner environment that you saw me look at previously. And like I said, we have a lot of stuff within this, but I want to give space to, you know, for questions. I think we have about 7 minutes left. So, you know, once again, if you want some future training or you want to look at future webinars, you can do that. Many people had asked about how do I stay in touch. I want to plug this sign up for news at the bottom of the page. The marketing team does a fantastic job of keeping people aware of all of the things coming up Avanti, but you're not going to be in the know unless you sign up for the news, and that's right here at the bottom of the page. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right here. And we can go through some of these questions I have.
Yeah, are you seeing them, Nate?
Yeah, there's a lot of them in here, which is fantastic. Thanks for the engagement, everybody. I was trying to answer as many of them as I could.
You did a great job, actually.
In there as well. Yeah, so I mean, let's just a couple of them here. I guess I can kind of answer. Somebody asked you, how does the Advantage cater to families or groups traveling together? Of course, you know, we know that small groups are a big thing now. So we have a lot of properties that have a lot of space and a lot of interconnecting room arrangements, right? And of course, the ones that are in our amenity program, you're going to get an added benefit from that. But just, dealing with Avanti, we're pretty good at connecting the dots for parties between, 5 to 8 passengers. So there's a lot of different things that are kind of good just in dealing with us in that regard. The people that asked about loyalty rewards or points associated with the program. The program, again, is really just geared towards everyone who's working with Avanti. We do offer some additional benefits like our TC Connects program for people above a certain sale amounts to have a one-to-one connection. We got a question about, how do we add airfare to packages? Lori, there's a very simple way to be able to do that. For example, when I was building one of these ones that was in the proposal section, there's an offering for airfare. But then I also want to make mention that, we had said that there are a lot of different ways for you to be able to reach us. Our team can add airfare to any quote for you. So no matter what you choose to build, there's either options through the process. You saw, like when I was actually in the planner environment, all you need to do is click add airfare. And then when when one of your proposals renders, you can actually add it in that space. But also, if you have created a quote already, there's options to do that. It's a pretty simple process. Somebody had asked, how do you handle data privacy and security for its passengers during the booking process? Of course, everything behind our screen is behind a login. We have a brilliant IT team who is dedicated to that process every day. No passenger details are shared with anybody else. And even if you're using our mobile app, there's not any name information within that after you have entered into the process. So there's nothing outside the system that's going to show anything about your passengers. We keep all of that secure. And as a matter of fact, if there's anything that we're using within the system, it auto hides all of that. And then somebody asked, what accommodations are available for travelers with disabilities within the program? We do offer a lot of different styles of properties, and, not all of them are ADA approved. We do have some of them that don't have elevators, but that is why it's important that no matter what you choose to do, we have these online forms that our team internally or the system will gear you towards, and one of them is a mobility form. And so this mobility form is very simple. Once you have a booking number, we can kind of grab any information about the passenger and make some informed decisions. For example, a lot of shared tours aren't going to work. We're going to need something on a private basis, but also we're going to need to make sure that we can handle that passenger at the accommodation level that they need. So we work hand in hand with the supplier to ensure the success of that particular departure to make sure that that person has a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Okay, so we have another one that says, will a customized package show item total costs so they can decide whether or not they want to keep or delete? So depending on the service, you can view that internally. For example, when we were looking at the proposals and stuff, you can see that there's per person pricing here. We do not itemize pricing on our quotations or our proposals. It is a total package cost. A lot of our advisors kind of choose to sell things in that way, but of course you can, let them know the cost of those things, or you can send yourself an invoice, which will actually detail the cost of those. So we kind of let the advisor be in control of that information to the passenger and opt in where they want to. Okay, and Lori was talking, okay, so airfare to the packages that were the preset packages, of course, you can add airfare to those. And in a lot of those instances, what you would do is you would build it inside the portal, and then basically, I'm just going to show you one very quickly here. In each arrangement that we have, it looks like this from the bookings display. All you need to do is click this plus flights button right here, and you can add flights to it. Okay, I think that's everything.
Thank you. Yep, you got everything, Nate. Thank you very much. So I just need to announce the 2 winners of the $50 gift cards, and that is Lori Power and Jacqueline Cankro. So congrats on that, and you'll be getting an email on those. And thank you so much, Nate and Gina. Amazing, amazing information. Really, really, you jam-packed it in a very short time. That's great. Really amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining today. We really appreciate it. And Lori, I hope you use that towards the Avanti services, and I'm going to reach out to you specifically to show you how to build that air.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.